August 2026. A federal courtroom in Manhattan. A woman stands before a judge. Harvard handshake resume. 2 tech exits under her belt. A company once valued at $1.4 billion. Her lawyer stands up. And here's what he says. A 30-pound mirror fell on her head. It broke her brain. That's why she committed the largest fashion tech fraud in history. I'm not joking. Stay with me, because in about 10 minutes, you're going to watch prosecutors destroy that defense using her own Google searches. This is the story of Christine Hunsicker and how she built an empire on numbers that didn't exist. Let's rewind. Christine Hunsicker was not supposed to end up in a courtroom. She was supposed to end up on a magazine cover. Princeton graduate, varsity field hockey, all Ivy, all American. The kind of resume that opens doors before you even knock. By her 20s, she wasn't just opening doors. She was walking through billion-dollar ones. She helped scale Right Media, an ad tech company, right into an $850 million acquisition by Yahoo. Then she did it again at Drop.io, right before Facebook bought it out. 2 exits, 2 proof points. She wasn't an outsider anymore. She was somebody Silicon Valley trusted with money. So in 2011, out of her own New York apartment, she started something new. Gwynnie B, a clothing rental subscription, but not for the usual runway sizes, for sizes 10 through 32, an entire market fashion brands had ignored for decades. It worked. She built real infrastructure, a logistics hub in Ohio, industrial dry cleaning lines, reverse logistics that actually functioned. She got a seat on Project Runway, fashion startup. Investors called her the data-driven operator who didn't care about fashion. She cared about unit economics. And then, in 2018, she made her boldest move. She rebranded. Gwynnie B became CaaStle, and instead of selling directly to customers, she pivoted the entire company into something bigger, a white label engine that other retailers could plug into. Banana Republic, Bloomingdale's, and Taylor Express. One by one, major American retail brands signed on, paying CaaStle to run their rental subscriptions behind the scenes. On paper, it looked like the future of fashion. Here's what nobody outside the boardroom knew. CaaStle had never, not once, turned a profit. Real businesses hit rough patches. They cut costs. They pivot. They raise a bridge round and tell investors the truth. Christine Hunsicker chose a different option. She rewrote reality. Starting around 2021, as CaaStle's finances collapsed under the weight of shipping costs, dry cleaning, and subscriber churn, she began fabricating the paperwork that was supposed to prove the company was healthy. First, audits. She created an entire fake audit report, complete with the letterhead of a real accounting firm, BDO USA. When investigators later contacted BDO, the firm confirmed something chilling. They had done zero work for CaaStle that year. The audit didn't exist. She built it from scratch. She didn't stop there. Older, legitimate audits contained a standard warning phrase: substantial doubt about the entity's ability to continue as a going concern. That's finance. Speak for, this company might die. She went into the PDFs, and she deleted it. Then came the bank statements, forged documents showing tens of millions of dollars in cash that simply did not exist. Liquidity she used to secure a real $20 million credit line from an actual bank. And then, the boldest scheme of all, fake secondary share sales. She told new investors they were buying discounted stock from early employees cashing out. Those sellers didn't exist. She invented them, issued shares that weren't authorized, forged 2 board members' signatures to make it look official, and pocketed the money directly into CaaStle's accounts. By 2023, her pitch decks claimed the company pulled in $439 million in revenue, with $66 million in profit. The real numbers, uncovered later by forensic accountants, $15.7 million in revenue, an $81 million loss. She had inflated the company's performance by more than 7,000%. And on those fabricated numbers, CaaStle was valued at $1.4 billion. She wasn't running a fashion company anymore. She was running a fiction, and everyone financing it thought it was real. Every fraud has an expiration date. Hers came in December 2024. An institutional investor noticed something didn't add up in the cap table, the document showing who owns what. Instead of asking Hunsicker, he went around her. He called the banks directly to verify the cash balances she'd been reporting. The banks had no idea what he was talking about. Cornered, Hunsicker did the only thing left to do. She confessed to her own board. Now here's where it gets darker. The board didn't call the police. They didn't go public. Disclosing the fraud would have wiped out their own equity. So in a private vote, They stripped her of her chairmanship but kept her on as CEO, hoping to quietly sell the company before anyone found out. One board member refused to go along with it and resigned in protest. Hunsicker, still in charge, kept going. She solicited millions more from investors in secondary shares, even after confessing the fraud to her own board. It didn't last. By spring 2025, the FBI showed up. Search warrants, seized laptops, seized phones. She resigned as CEO. On June 20, 2025, CaaStle furloughed its entire staff with zero notice and filed for bankruptcy liquidation. The company that once processed rental subscriptions for Bloomingdale's and Banana Republic was gone in a single afternoon. A month later, federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York unsealed a 6-count criminal indictment. By March 2026, she pleaded guilty to securities fraud, which brings us back to that courtroom in August 2026. This is the part that made headlines. Her defense team stood up in front of the judge and argued that a 30-pound mirror had fallen on Hunsicker's head, causing a traumatic brain injury that impaired her judgment and her ability to control her actions. Essentially, the fraud wasn't really her fault. Her brain was broken. It's a real legal strategy. It's called a diminished capacity defense. The prosecution had a different story to tell, and they told it using her own phone. Investigators had already seized her devices back in the FBI raid. Buried inside was her search history, and it was damning. Around the same time she was meeting with investors, she'd been searching things like how to create a fake audit firm and bank fraud versus wire fraud severity. Prosecutors put those searches on a screen in that courtroom for the judge to see. You can't accidentally search how to create a fake audit firm. That's not a symptom of brain damage. That's premeditation, typed out one keystroke at a time. The judge agreed. He rejected the impairment defense outright, citing the sheer scale and duration of the scheme. Years of calculated forgery, not a single moment of confusion. Christine Hunsicker was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison, 3 years of supervised release after that, and $283,291,940 in restitution and forfeiture. She's set to surrender to federal prison on October 12, 2026. Here's what actually gets me about this story. Christine Hunsicker didn't need to fake being competent. She'd already proven she was. 2 real exits, a real logistics operation, real retail partnerships with brands everyone's heard of. But somewhere along the way, admitting the business model was broken felt more dangerous than committing federal fraud. So she chose the fraud. And the investors who wired her $170 million, 0.72, Highland Capital, First Mark, Canaan, some of the sharpest venture money in the country, they didn't catch it. A regular guy checking a bank balance did. That's the part nobody in Silicon Valley wants to sit with. Due diligence isn't a formality. It's the only thing standing between an investment and a courtroom. Christine Hunsicker had the resume, the pedigree, the 2-time exit story that makes VCs stop asking questions. Turns out, that's exactly the profile fraud loves to hide inside.